Right, Prahlad, you can do prayers.
No, you tell me.
Someone want to do prayers?
I'll do prayers when it starts.
You can do now.
Okay. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjalashayakaya Takshurumati Jandena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namaji. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shivate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namani Namaste Saraswati Deve Ore Vani Pajarine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Vasvata Desha Darine Jai 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 Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Jiva Sari Gaura Bhakti Vista Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Right, Prahlad, you can sing Kirtan for some time.
What, Mataji? Can you repeat it? I didn't hear you.
You want to do Kirtan? Okay, Krishna, I'll put you in the breakout. I don't know if breakout is still going on. Looks like it's going on. I'll put you in one room, okay? I'll put you in Hindu Mataji's room. It is open. Still, it is open. Okay, go ahead. Go to the room. Okay, Vrinda, come here, Vrinda. Narashima Kavacham Cheptura. The Narashima festival is coming, Vrinda. Come here, Vrinda. Okay, I'll give other people a chance.
I'm coming now. सर्वभक्षाकरं पुण्यं सर्वोपद्रवनाशिनं सर्वसम्पत्करं चैव सर्वभूतप्रदायकं धर्मानर्जिंहदेवेशम् एव सिंहासनस्थितं युधितासं दिनयनं शरबिन्दुसमद्रवं लक्ष्मणिङ्गितवामाङ्गं विभूत उपाश्रितं चतुर्भुजं कोमलाङ्गं स्वर्णकुण्डलशोभितं सरोजशोभितोरस्कं रत्नगेयोगमुद्रितम् साप्तकाञ्चन शङ्काशं पीतनिर्मलमादसम् इन्दाबीजुरमौलिस्तं स्फुरन्माणिक्यदीप्ति विराजितद्वदद्वन्द्वं शङ्खचक्रादियेतिभिः अरुन्मदाज विनयात् स्तूयमानमदान्वितं स्वकमलसम्मानं तं तं प्राप्नोत संशयं सर्वत्र जयवाप्नोति सर्वत्र जयवी भवेत् भूम्यन्तरिक्ष दिव्यानां ग्रहाणां विनिवारणं वृष्टिकोरसम्भूता विशापरणनं परं ब्रह्म राक्षस यक्षाणां दूरोत्सारणकारणं भूदेवातालपत्रेण कवचं लिखितं शुभं करमूले दृशवेरा सिद्धे युकर्म सिद्धया देवासु मनुष्येषु वंशेर्मजलं लवेदेकसन्तं श्रीचन्दं वा यप्पते नियतो नरा सर्वे मङ्गलमाङ्गल्यं मुक्तिं च विन्दति द्राप्तुं सदिदाश्राणि पदे सिद्धात्मनां नृणां कवचस्य मन्त्रस्य मन्त्रसिद्धिप्रजायते अनेन मन्त्रराजेन विद्मा बस्वादिवन्दनं तिलकं विन्दतेतस्तु तस्य गरं ववं भवेत् द्वारं जपमानस्तु दत्तं वापविवन्दनं पाशयेनो मनो मन्त्रं नरसिंहध्यानमाचरेत् तस्य रोगपनश्यन्ति ये च व्युकुक्षितं भव कर्षन्तं कर्षयन्तं निजबुधरतरं बोधयन्तं मदन्तं रूप्यन्तं स्थापयन्तं दिवि दिवि भुवि जिदितं सेवयन्तं शिदन्तं कन्दन्तं रोषयन्तं सिदि सततं सम्मरन्तं भरन्तं शिक्षन्तं पूर्णयन्तं शरणिकरशते दिव्यसिंहं नमामि इति श्रीब्रह्माण्डपुराणे प्रह्लादोक्तं श्रीनरसिंहकवचं सम्पूर्णम् श्रीनरसिंह श्रीनरसिंह जय जय नरसिंह प्रह्लादेश जय पद्मा मुख पद्मा सिंह हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you very much. Radhika Kasturi Mataji.
I did the prayers already.
Radhika Kasturi Mataji.
Mataji, I did the prayers and the
Hare Krishna. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna Balavrinda. Thank you so much for the beautiful prayers. Hari Hari.
Yeah. We were waiting for you. I thought,
and
instead
also
of
I did
sitting-
the prayers too. The prayers were already finished too.
Okay, wonderful, dear. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Balavrinda. All right, so we get started. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharani Vishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna. All right, kids, let's get started without any further ado. Are you all able to see my screen?
I can't see it, Mataji.
You can't? Okay.
It's not visible.
Okay.
Screen only you.
I'll again share. Okay. All right.
Yeah, we can see now.
Okay. Okay. So today, 1 second, kids. Let me just open this on a. What is it? What is the slide view? How do you do the slide view?
Mataji in the bottom, Mataji here near the Zoom. This
Oh.
64% is the screen kind of thing. You press on that.
Oh.
The TV screen kind of thing is there, na Mataji in the bottom, in the bar.
1 minute. Yeah.
This side, Mataji, this side. Yes. Yeah.
I usually do it, Mataji, today.
Mataji, that one, Mataji.
Huh? Here only somewhere, huh?
The Zoom sign is there, right, Mataji? Beside that, what is there? That
Mataji?
is Zoom. This one, you can zoom the slide, right? Like that.
Yeah, somehow something I did, Mataji.
Okay.
No problem. I will figure it out. Thank you, Mataji. All right, kids. So we are going to learn about Narashinga Dev's pastimes in Mayapur. Okay. Again, why are we discussing the story? Is to understand the glories of Narashinga Dev in Mayapur. Okay. So we need to appreciate that. In order to appreciate that, we must know what the glories are. So based on that, then we will have appreciation for the Lord. Then we want to visit Mayapur. Then we want to go and start enjoying and having darshan of the deities and singing before the deities, taking darshan and having this conviction. It will come only when we understand the glories. So we will see a lot of pastimes today to understand what are the glories of Narashinga Dev. So pastime number 1. Once Narashinga Dev's, again, this is all said by, these stories are all coming from our pujaris in Mayapur. Again, we know Pangajangri Prabhu and Jananivas Prabhu. So they have all, validated these pastimes. So it is coming from the authentic source. That is important. Where does this come from? Who are we listening from? Is this coming from our parampara? We have to definitely ask these questions, and we need to validate it. And so these stories are all coming from our our beloved pujaris of Mayapur, our Pangajangri Prabhu and Janani Prabhu. All right. So without any further ado, we can get started with the pastimes. Once Lord Narashingadev's worship was going on as usual when the pujari noticed that one flower fell from the Narashingadev's garland. The pujari asked the visitors if anyone was offering any special prayers to Narashingadev. The visitors in front did not say anything, but from the back, one lady came forward with tears in her eyes. What happened with her? She said, my daughter got married about 4 or 5 years ago and she had no issue, meaning she was not getting pregnant. The people in my son-in-law's house consider it very inauspicious because whenever the girl doesn't have a child for a long time, they consider it to be inauspicious, that too 4 to 5 years after marriage. So I was praying to Narashingadev that he might help her in her desperate situation. Then the pujari said, your prayer is granted. The symptom is that the flower actually fell from Narashingadev's garland. Please take this and keep it nicely. You can wash this flower and give the water to your daughter to drink. Then the lady left, and later the pujari actually forgot the incident. After 1 year, the same devotee, along with her daughter and son-in-law and the newborn baby, came smiling to Narashingadev. She reminded the pujari about the prayer she had made a year back, as a result of which her daughter gave birth to this beautiful baby boy, who they named Prahlad. And once again, they offered a very nice puja to Narashingadev. Again, Mataji, what do you mean, Mataji? Why are you talking to us about all these pastimes? What is the reason? So we need to develop faith in the Lord. How can we attain the faith in the Lord? Only when we understand the glories, right? I mean, some people, they have Shastri Shraddha, meaning because of Shastra, they get that faith. That is what is the best thing, through getting faith through the Shastras is the best thing. And some people who are not, who don't have this opportunity to actually learn Shastras, they also need to develop devotion and faith and somehow come to this process of pure devotional service. So when we actually glorify and talk about Narashingadev's pastimes that really happened in Mayapur, all of them will get attracted to this process of pure devotional service. And why is Narashingadev there? What is the reason? Why do we worship Narashingadev? In order to actually protect our consciousness to Radha and Krishna. That is the reason we worship Narashingadev in our Sampradaya, not for any other reason. We ask and seek protection in our devotional service, right? We are praying to Radha and Krishna, and what if sometime something happens to us and we are not able to do that? So in order to get that protection so that we may eternally serve Radha and Krishna. We are seeking blessings from Narashinga Dev. Please actually help us in this process of devotional service. This is what we ask. And what is the reason why we are discussing the glories? So that all the people in all the sects actually come into this process of pure devotional service. That is the reason we are discussing the glories of the pastimes. Any questions, dear kids? I'm sorry.
Mataji,
Yeah.
when you were talking, the side came up and it said host asked you to unmute, so I just unmuted and then
I think now the problem is resolved, isn't it? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, no worries. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, are you able to see my screen now?
Yeah, it's good, Mataji.
Okay, good. So in the pastime number 2, what is the pastime number 2? Come inside. Sorry, kids, it was my son. Anyways, pastime number 2. So there was a fight in the village, and in the course of the fight, one person was attacked with acid, as a result of which the whole face was burnt and terribly disfigured. Imagine somebody pours this acid on your face, what will happen? Your face will become something else. The sight of one of the eyes was completely lost, and the other
My
eye,
face will disintegrate.
yeah, the other eye also had only 10% of the vision. The doctor said that remaining eye through which he had 10% vision will also go blind very soon. They suggested taking this patient to Vellore, a place in South India, for further treatment to see if they can do something about it. At that time, a devotee who was there suggested that he should pray to Narashinga Dev for the recovery of his eyes. As a result, they prayed to Narashinga Dev at ISKCON Mayapur. The next day, much to doctor's surprise, it was found that the patient could see everything very nicely. So this is the point. What is the point? If you do any prayers to Lord Narashinga Dev with faith, then Narashinga Dev certainly answers your prayers. This person, he was going to get blind soon with his next eye also, and he's got this treatment. I mean, he was going to go to the treatment in Vellore to see if they can do something about it. Between somehow or the other, this person actually fortunately came in contact with devotee, and this devotee association actually helped him to regain his eyes. Because through devotees' prayers, we can actually, because the devotees have so much faith in the Lord, and when they pray with so much of faith, then what happens? The prayers are answered. All right. So this is the point. So third pastime. One Russian lady used to make tulsi garlands for Narashinga Dev every day. Being pleased with her, Narashinga Dev's pujari gave one of the Lord Narashinga's false fingernails as prasad to her. She took it and kept it with her. The night she had a dream in which she saw Narashinga Dev had come to her and was sitting on her bed. The Lord then put his fingers with his long nails inside her heart and pulled out something black and said, "You see this? This is not love, it is lust. And there is still more here. What shall I do with it?" She could not reply, and her dream broke. The next day, she went before Narashinga Dev and asked him to throw it far away. So this is the point, kids. So, I mean, just to kind of recap here, Narashinga Dev's pujari became very pleased, and he gave Narashinga Dev's false fingernails as prasad. She kept it with her. In the dream, what happened? She saw Narashinga Dev come to her and sitting on her bed. Then the Lord put his fingers and his long nails inside her heart and pulled out something black. This is love. What did he pull out? He pulled out her anartha. So the dream then broke. So this is what is important different. So Narashinga Dev, what can he do? He can remove the anarthas that are there, because what happens? These anarthas are the ones that are hindering us in this process of devotional service. And when we throw our anarthas out, then what happens is we are able to relish this love of devotional love, which is pure prema. How nice and blissful it would be to just have just that love, but not anything else that is corrupting our heart. If our heart is so pure, then there is nothing else to think of but Krishna, isn't it? This is the point. Narashinga Dev can help us in the progress of devotional service. Any obstacles that comes on the path, Narashinga Dev actually removes those obstacles so that we can go ahead in our worship with Radha and Krishna. Now, any questions, kids? Okay, I don't see you have any questions. Let's move on to the next
Mataji?
story. Yeah.
I had a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why are we only glorifying Narashinga Dev right now?
Oh, we are glorifying Narashinga Dev because Narashinga Chaturdasi is coming this Saturday, dear. That is why.
Oh, thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, good question. Is it right, Prahlad? Hari, is this right?
I
Prahlad?
think it's somebody who's the son of Shalini here or something.
Wait, I'm asking his name. What is your name?
My name is Raya Prahalad.
I know, I thought, I just kind of sensed it. Anyways, pastime number 4. So the father of one of the devotees of ISKCON used to argue with him, saying, why do we have one of the devotees argued with the pujari, saying, why do we have to worship Narashinga Dev when Radha Madhav is here? The boy tried to make his father understand that Krishna and Narashinga Dev was non-different, but his father was not at all convinced in this regard. He thought they were two separate. Okay, they both are not same. How can you say they are same? And then what happened was, during Narashinga Chaturdasi in 2003, this boy, along with his father, came to the temple and was watching Narashinga Dev's Abhishek ceremony. The father who didn't believe that Narashinga Dev and Radha Madhav is non-different. Suddenly, the boy's father saw Madhava's face in the place of Narashinga Dev. He turned to Radha Madhav again and he looked back at Narashinga Dev and found Narashinga Dev's face as Madhava, Radha Madhava still. This continued for about 20 seconds. In this way, he recognized that there is no difference between Hare Krishna. Kids, why don't you actually mute yourself, mute your thing? Okay, kids? So that is the point. We need to understand. See, when we talk about all these avatars, what happened? The avatars, they come down and descend to this world. But they're all the source. Please, can you all mute your, your devices? It's really sometimes very loud to me, my ears. No problem. I know if you did it by mistake, but, be careful about it. Otherwise, it interrupts also what I'm talking, okay? So the point here is, kids, what I was saying was, Narashinga, see, all these avatars, they descend down the world, but then the source is Krishna. Krishna is avatari and everybody else is avatar. So in one way, the avatars are coming from who? Krishna. So Krishna and the avatars are non-different. So Krishna and Narashinga Dev is non-different in that sense. Because he is Krishna. He is coming from Krishna. So that is why he is Krishna. He is non-different from Krishna. Okay, so this is the point that this pastime is teaching us, that Narashinga Dev is non-different from Radha Madhav. So we need to understand. And again, Krishna, when a person needs that sort of conviction and faith, Krishna somehow comes into our life and gives that faith that we need. This person, he didn't have this faith initially that Radha Madhav was not different from Narashinga Dev, and somehow he was able to see Radha Madhav in the deity of Narashinga Dev. This is the point. To instill faith, Krishna can do anything. inconceivable potencies he has, isn't it? So this is the point that we are able to see through this pastime. All right, so now moving on to our next pastime. This is also very nice pastime. Okay, so during 2004, Kavipriya Devi Dasi of Kolkata, South Kolkata, okay, a disciple of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami, made some bracelets for Narashinga Dev. Somehow or the other, she could not come to Mayapur and offer them to the Lord. In the meantime, she started becoming sick in different ways. She went to doctors, tried various treatments, but there was no cure. Lastly, the doctor said that her problem was thyroid. As a result, she's unable to move now. As she was in great anxiety, thinking what to do, all of a sudden she remembered about Narashinga Dev and the bracelets that she was supposed to offer to him. Even though she was ill, she made the endeavor to come to Mayapur and give him the bracelets. Very important point, dear devotees. What is it that is being said here? She made the endeavor to come to Mayapur and offer the bracelets, not that she sent it through somebody. In spite of her ill health, in spite of the fact she was unable to move, in spite of the treatments and the sickness that she was going through, she never gave an excuse. Looking at her sincerity, Narashinga Dev reciprocated with her. This is what is, whenever a devotee has faith in the Lord lovingly reciprocates with that devotee. What component is missing in us? The component of faith is what is missing in us. And that is what needs to be strengthened more and more and more. Again, how can they be strengthened? 9 process of devotional service, the most important being hearing Shravana, isn't it? Of course, today is auspicious Ekadasi, and we want to make the best use of our time in listening to Krishna Katha, and this is what we are doing, Kirtanam, right? And, Smaranam, chanting the glories of the holy names of the Lord, and the hearing is what is happening. So all glories to Narashinga Dev, because what happened? After she offered it to Narashinga Dev, those bracelets, all the symptoms of illness were totally removed within 3 days. Look at it. This is the glory of Narashinga Dev. So Narashinga Bhagwan ki jai. Another story. This is narrated by Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Radhanath Swami Maharaj ki jai. So what is being told in the story? Listen carefully. Some terror attack is being talked about here. Okay. So there was that Taj Hotel where terrorists attacked. They were fighting in there for 3 days, complete carnage. The terrorists had arranged in such a way that they would always be higher. They would shoot from the lowest vantage point down. They had all these grenades, okay, all these big grenades. I think they are bombs, isn't it? And they would throw the grenades, and the grenades would create so much smoke that if you are looking up, you couldn't see anything. Just like that, from the top, they will just throw out the grenades, and because of which you will not be able to see anything. Picture that. Now Maharaj is asking us to picture it, how we are witnessing the scenario. Imagine, now we have to turn our imaginary hats on. Picture that you are one of the soldiers or police officers, and you are in the cloud of smoke. Up and above, there is a hail of bullets from where the terrorists are shooting at you. One of the soldiers was one of our devotees. At one point, they were trying to chase these people through the hotel. They're all trapped. How can they move? The terrorists were throwing all these grenades, and they are in complete cloud of smoke. They cannot see 1 foot in front of their face. They can't even see left, right, anything because of that smoke. And the hail of bullets is being fired at them. Just a wall of bullets is coming at them. Imagine the scenario. Maharaj is asking us, just imagine, position yourself in such a way that you're not able to see left, right, center. And you're just having all these grenades coming down to you, because of which this room is filled with smoke. Okay, this is where you're trapped now. Imagine that. And now what happened? This devotee is a police officer with 2 other police officers on either side. He's in the middle, and he was completely helpless. He couldn't see left, right, center. He couldn't see any of his colleagues. He remembered that he had his ringtone on his phone and of Narashinga Dev's prayers. He began playing the prayers and praying intensely, fervently. That is, giving his heart. He started praying to Narashinga Dev with absolute state of helplessness. This is how Prabhupada actually, Srila Prabhupada wants us to chant in this mood. Absolute state of helplessness. I'm going to die. Save me in this absolute hopeless state I am in. This devotee is praying, this police officer. The point is, when you're stuck in such a situation, first of all, the remembrance has to come to you. The remembrance about Krishna has to come to you. And this is, again, if we don't commit any kind of offenses to our Adi Guru, then, to our any other devotees, then this remembrance will come. Otherwise, remembrance also will not come. Oh, I'm going to die anytime, and that fear itself, you will die. Sometimes that happens, isn't it? If that person doesn't have to shoot at you, in the fear of dying, you will die. But here, this devotee, due to his sincerity in the process of devotional service, due to his sincere sadhana, he is able to remember the Lord. And because of his remembrance to the Lord, he played this Narashinga prayers, like how Vrinda beautifully sang these prayers today, isn't it? For all of us, even if you were to hear those prayers, it's beneficial and auspicious. So thank you, Bala Vrinda, for that. Like that, this devotee is playing that song and he's fervently praying to the Lord to help him and save him from this helpless situation, like how Gajendra was praying to the Lord with so much sincerity and devotion. Like that, probably this devotee also prayed. When the shooting stopped, the smoke cleared. His friend to the right and his friend to the left were completely killed, riddled by the bullets. And he was unscathed, meaning he didn't die. In front of him, which he couldn't see anything at that time, was a giant pillar. And because they were shooting at him, the pillar protected him. Can you all believe this? Isn't it miracle? This guy at the left and right, both of them died. But he didn't die. Why was that? It was because there was pillar, because they couldn't see anything. He didn't know he was standing in front of the pillar. Right? He didn't know that because he couldn't see. It was all completely filled with smoke. That is what Maharaj wanted us to imagine. And we all imagined we put in such a situation and we could see nothing but just the smoke. He couldn't see anything because of the smoke. And because of the fervent prayers, Narashinga Dev answered his prayers. And both the people, this side and that side, both of them died, but he did not die. The pillar protected him. Now, this devotee is recollecting what happened to him. He thought, just as Narashinga Dev came out of the pillar to save Prahlad, he put the pillar here to save me. So my simple point is, if you have faith, oh, how will I be taken care of? Krishna will take care of you. Don't worry. Let me give my life to the Sankirtan movement. This is what Maharaj beautifully narrated in this, on Srimad Bhagavatam class in Mayapur, which took place in 2009, February 19th. So, dear kids, so the main reason why we are talking about glories of Narashinga Dev is because Narashinga Chaturdasi is coming this Saturday, and that is why we want to more and more remember him so that we understand his glories and develop more faith towards the Lordships. This is the reason, okay? Narashinga Bhagavan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I think it is Mataji. Is Preeti Mataji going to take the next class?
Yeah, yes, Mataji, but she's not yet there. Still, maybe, you are doing stories, right? You have more stories.
I'll do one more story then. When Mataji comes, can you message me? I can stop then.
Sure. Yeah, I can stop you in between. I will intimate you that we have a next session like that.
Sure, Mataji, sounds good. So kids, do you have any questions before we move on to our next story? Today was a story class, isn't it? Did you all like the stories?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, they were really good.
Okay. So we all now desire to go to Mayapur, isn't it? Because obviously listening to the stories, we want to see the deities of Narashinga Dev directly, like how this lady went.
Mataji, I regret not spending good time there.
Mataji, we will go to Mayapur once my dad gets green card. Then we will go to Mayapur and Vrindavan. We're not going.
Okay.
So we never got to see them.
Yeah. You never got to see them, right? Yeah, once. Very good. Suraj, did you also go to Mayapur, you said?
Mataji, when I was small, I went.
Oh, you went? Good, good. So let's all pray and sincerely pray to the deities of Narashinga Dev so that we can all go to Mayapur and have a blissful darshan and, obviously be able to feel that atmosphere where it is surrounded by a lot of devotees. And when we are there in that mood, that's completely different. So we need to definitely enjoy that and relish that. So now I'll see if we have any other story. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, dear.
I also went to Mayapur for a week.
Oh, you went to Mayapur for a week?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. That's awesome,
We
dear.
went to India to visit our family because we go almost every year. And on the way, we went there and stayed for a little bit, went to Mayapur and came back to India.
Oh,
And
where in India?
Hyderabad.
Okay, you're from Hyderabad. Okay, okay. All right.
Mataji, once I went, I think 1 year ago, I went to Mayapur.
You also went to Mayapur.
My mom's sister is in Hyderabad. Her name is Soundarya.
Uh-huh.
2 years old.
I was in Mayapur for 2 months.
2 or 3 times.
Shriyan, what did you say, dear?
2 or 3 times, but I don't exactly remember seeing Narashinga Dev because I went.
Maybe you were young.
Yeah, but
isn't
I
it?
saw him at least once.
Wonderful, wonderful. See, you are already young. And when you went, probably you're very, very young. But still you remember. That is very good.
Mataji,
Mukund, tell me, dear.
my mother's brother, he lives in Mayapur.
Oh,
Like
my goodness. Really?
Yeah.
He's in Mayapur near the lordships, near the temple and everything?
Yes, Mataji, he lives over there.
Oh, wow.
I went to
Such
Mayapur
a
a year ago and I stayed there for 2 months.
such a blessed soul, isn't it? Mukund, thank you for
went to
sharing that.
Goshala.
Dhruba, what did you say, dear?
I went to Mayapur a year ago and I also for 2 months and I also went to Goshala.
Uh-huh. Good, good, good. Wow, you guys are all blessed. Such a blessed
Mayapur
feature.
in 2006.
Could we go to
17.
story this time?
Okay, so let's just move on now. Do the next story, okay? So now I don't have a PPT on this, but let's just read it as it is. Okay, on March 2009, Mahesh Bhai Dhukia, a congregation member from London, called and told that his wife Srimati Jayashree Dhukia is suffering from acute uterine cancer and she's been flown from Frankfurt for the last time. So this is what is happening with her. She has cancer. Mahesh Bhai asked if the devotees in Mayapur could do some prayers for his wife. Doctors in London had given up the hope and claimed that she cannot last for more than 3 months, as the cancer had spread to all the parts of the body, including the pelvic area. The following morning, what happened was, the husband, he humbly requested His Holiness Pangajangri Prabhu and explained the whole situation to him. Then they went to the Pujari room near Radha Madhav altar. There, His Holiness Pangajangri Prabhu, he was to string the Mahaprabhu deity. At that time of the year, he was making the final preparations for the Abhishek of Narashinga Dev. And Pangajangri Prabhu asked, what is the name of this Mataji? And then he gave the name, writing it on a piece of paper. Now in Germany, just during the same time, the operation was going to save Jayashree Mataji. After she regained her consciousness, she told her husband she had dream of, so now she was getting operated and in Germany. And now she was gaining her consciousness and she told her husband, hey, you know what, Mahesh Bhai, I actually happened to get a dream of Narashinga Dev of Mayapur. She said that Prahlad Maharaj was there to tell her the glories of Narashinga Dev. She told her husband that she completely feels like a new person now. Something evil has left her body. Now, back in London, she was taken back to the doctors for checkup. And during the scan, the radiologists were shocked to see there was no signs of cancer. They called the hospital in Germany to confirm the medical details of the patient. The German surgeons who operated on her could not believe that there is no symptoms of cancer seen in this lady. The German research medical unit is now deeply studying this entire case. What is going on with this lady? She had cancer up to her pelvic. It was spreading as fast like a fire. But I don't see any traces of this cancer anymore. They were all
Mataji, what is a pelvic?
abdomen.
Okay.
Yeah, for women they call it pelvic. Okay. So now Mahesh Bhai and his good wife Jayashree came back to Mayapur to really have a close darshan of the lordships, that is Narashinga Dev, and come to their senses and understand what had happened. Srimati Jayashree just cried and cried in front of Narashinga Dev. Jananivas Prabhu, His Holiness Jananivas Prabhu summed up the whole transcendental episode. While blessing the both couples, His Holiness Jananivas Prabhu said, Lord Narashinga Dev performs operations with his transcendental nails and the devotees just feel blissful. Jayashree Ben now chants 16 good rounds with her new Krishna conscious life. She thanks all the devotees of ISKCON and she feels very proud to join the real spiritual family of Srila Prabhupada. She vows to come to Mayapur every year and be near Narashinga Dev. She also thanks both his grace Jananivas Prabhu and his grace Pangajangri Prabhu for having saved her life through the powerful prayers of Lord Narashinga Dev. Who communicated this message? Who communicated to Narashinga Dev? It is the powerful devotees of the Lord who had faith in Narashinga Dev communicated the message of Mahesh Bhai, because of which Narashinga Dev was so pleased. Oh yeah, no problem. I will operate on her using my transcendental nails. And he operated on Jayashree Mataji. And that's how cancer was gone. Yeah. And
I forgot.
you forgot. Okay. So
Mataji, that's a good story. It understand me with my eye problem. That is like if you pray to Narashinga, it will go.
oh, so sweet of you, dear. So sweet of you, dear. Yes, yes, he's there to take care of all of us. He has
Mataji, since when can you use nails to do a surgery?
yes, Lord
Then
can.
then
know
who
what?
needs scissors?
Suraj, you know what? Lord can use his eyes to eat. He can use his ears to eat. He is inconceivable, dear. We cannot do that. We have just teeny tiny power. That's all. And we cannot be, other than our mouth, we can't eat with anything else. But Lord can do. Lord can use his nails. He can use anything to take care of anything else. That is
Actually, we cannot eat from somebody else's mouth either.
yes.
Mataji, we can eat with our hands.
Yes, we can eat with our hands, but it has to go through the mouth. Anyways, Hare Krishna.
You want to say something? You want to eat for your hands. You just have to make a hole in our hands and put your food through the hand.
Mataji, what if somebody survived with no hands, legs, and head? Mataji, only your body.
I know.
I had a question.
There's actually a lot of people
One second. Rai Prahlad has a question, dear. Yeah, go ahead.
You said in the past time you just told right now. You said that that lady or the other Mataji found out that it was Narashinga Dev who helped them. How can you say it was Narashinga Dev who helped him? Because it could have been other people like either Brahma or other Krishna.
Wonderful, wonderful. So the point is, Jayashree Mataji had a dream, Prahlad coming to her and telling the glories of Narashinga Dev. And remember, we have Mahesh Bhai, who's Mataji's husband. He happened to go to His Holiness Pankajangri Prabhu and happened to say about Mataji's problem. After that, when she went to the German surgeons there, she had, after becoming conscious from her surgery, she happened to have this dream. And then she was trying to correlate, what this dream had come to me like that. She was actually saying this to Mahesh Bhai also, her husband. And then sometime later, they happened to go and check in the London hospital to see if, how cancer was spreading. And then they realized, oh my God, there's no cancer. There's no trace of cancer only. It's such a critical situation. She then became completely all right.
Mataji, I want to tell you something. You actually
Wait. Rai Prahlad, did you understand, dear?
Yes, Mataji, I understood what you said.
Okay, good job. Yes, Shriyan.
Mataji, actually we don't do anything. So literally you can't eat with your mouth. Krishna makes you do that. Krishna opens your mouth, then he makes, then he somehow pushes
Digestive fire. Yes, he is everything. Without, so not a blade of grass moves without him. That is what Shriyan is conveying.
Mataji, actually everyone and everything in this entire world is like everyone and everything is like a robot controlled by Krishna. You just
At the same time, she has given a teeny tiny bit of free will, and if we misuse that free will, then we will go away from Krishna. Okay, Shriyan.
Wait. So, Shriyan, are you talking about Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or Krishna who's attending this class right now?
No, he's talking about Krishna, the Supreme God. Okay, no problem. Suraj, that was your question, huh? That's what I'm giving you answer. Yeah.
What if Krishna were like the TV and Krishna is like the remote control?
Krishna is the TV and we are the remote control.
We are the TV and Krishna is the remote control.
Yeah. So we, the thing is, at the end of the day, we need to understand that nothing happens without Krishna's will.
The remote control
so we will.
The remote control is a live remote control, but the TV is a dead TV.
Okay, dear. So we will go into the next pastime, understand what the pastime has to say. Okay. Child is hit by a truck. Let's understand that story and then we will call it off. Okay. All right. Child hit by a truck.
I know the story, Mataji.
Okay, dear. Thank you. So now what happened was a father and daughter who experienced the story happened to share the story to the friend, a sannyasi devotee of Narashinga Dev. The stories was actually found in newspapers also. This is what happened. This happened to a simple Vaishnava family that lives there. They had back then a 5-year-old daughter. The girl was great fan of Narashinga Dev. She found him simply funny as he looked half lion and half man, and she felt attracted to him. She often told her playmates about her favorite god, a lion, and the kids always wondered what kind of god this could be. A lion god? What a 5-year-old, so what can a 5-year-old god know? Sorry, 5-year-old girl know about God? She wasn't initiated, not even her parents, as far as I remember. The father of the family followed a guru and surely later accepted initiation. But there was a small Hindu community they were in close touch with. So one day, see, imagine, this girl was playing outside with her ball together with the other kids besides the street. The ball, how else could it be, fell on the street and the girl ran after her precious ball. There was nearly no traffic, a rarely used country road, okay? But at this time, a fast truck came running towards the road. The girl in her play didn't see the truck coming. The father was on the first floor of the house, saw this baby girl running towards the street to pick up this ball. But he also saw a huge truck coming down closer to his daughter with huge speed. The father yelled at her, but she did not hear him. He jumped out of the window of his first floor to save his daughter, and he broke both his legs when coming down and remained laying down. Can you imagine the scenario? It's very hard. He broke both his legs trying to save his daughter, and he was laying on the ground in pain. This is what happened with this daddy. He had to watch how this girl was hit by a truck and thrown through the air some 20 meters away. All children and neighbors around who observed this froze the blood. The father later said his only desire when he saw this was to die. You know, father later said his only desire when he saw this was to die. He cannot see this. That's what he meant. He had to watch this little girl was hit by the truck and thrown through the air some 20 meters away. So from other direction, a police car also witnessed this accident. The truck went on and the policeman stopped this car across the street to stop him. The truck driver hardly stopped this truck and he seemed to be drunk. The policeman immediately called the ambulance and ran over the motionless laying girl in the grass. The closest hospital was a private clinic. The ambulance came but refused to take the girl, being afraid they wouldn't have the necessary devices and machines to keep the injuries of the girls taken care of. They advised the policeman to call the main hospital as they could efficiently help her, as her spine must be broken, etc. The policeman was in despair, not even knowing where the father of the girl was. Actually, he didn't even know if the girl was alive. He didn't even dare to touch her, not knowing how injured she was. However, in the end, she was brought to the right hospital. The policeman accompanied this girl and finally saw the father was there. The chief doctor heard then what had happened to the girl and immediately x-rayed to see the results. The policeman wanted the rest assured how the girl was doing and waited there to see the results. Everybody was shocked to hear this terrific accident had happened to this girl. So the nurses brought the x-ray pictures to the doctor, who became very upset and started yelling at the nurse. For God's sake, bring the right pictures. Things were about death and life. He threatened to fire her as it was unacceptable to make such mistakes. The nurse was scared and didn't understand what was happening. Those were the pictures of the 5-year-old girl that was hit by the truck. The nurse wasn't aware of what had happened to the girl. The doctor said, this cannot be. The x-rays are there, not a single bone broken. So the doctors all the time again and again repeated it. Impossible, impossible. How can you say this girl doesn't have her bones broken? This is not possible. Suddenly the girl awoke from her faint and told the entire story. It told the story at full consciousness, which brought it to the media. In the moment she picked up the ball from the street, she saw the truck coming to her. The only thing she could do was to yell out for help. She didn't call out for her mommy or daddy, but she called out for Narashinga Dev. In this moment, when the truck should hit her, she suddenly saw Narashinga Dev picked her up from the ground, smiled at her and said, don't be worried, don't be afraid, nothing will happen to you. The girl continued the story that the Lord had put her on the other side of the street into the grass. But when putting her down, he accidentally scratched her waist, which is what is hurting her a little bit. She spoke about how beautiful Narashinga Dev was, his hair, his eyes, etc. His claws was very sharp. He could cut the nails. He wore a golden dhoti. The doctor didn't understand anything and told the policeman she was in shock and she's still in shock. She's still probably in shock and she's hallucinated, which is normal. And that is why she's saying something like this. So the girl profoundly checked. The girl was profoundly checked for all the injuries on her body. The only injury they found on her body was the scratches. And the doctor said, this must be from the wild animal like a lion, as he had cases of this before. So he was disturbed and asked if they had brought the girl to hospital as she was injured by a wild animal or what, because nothing had happened to her. The same doctor and nurse who took care of her later became devotees as they learned from the parent who that lion god was. As we can see, miracles happen even today, not only in Mahabharata, Puranas or Shastras that are more than thousands of years old. We can see the pastimes of the Lord. Now also we can see the little girl was attracted to this form of Lord, and in her despair she called out for help, and Lord Narashinga Dev did not look if she was initiated or she had the right to call his name. He protects his devotees that sincerely worship him in their hearts. I'm sure this little girl was no common soul. Who knows what she did in her previous life? The sannyasi heard that she very much liked to eat sweets, and she prepared a big plate of sweets to her. Rest assured, she'll not be able to eat it all up. He gave her the mounted plate of sweets. She took some of the sweets and ran out playing with her friends. As soon as she was gone from the room, the sannyasi went over to the plate and took the rest. That was Mahaprasad that was available. Narashinga Bhagwan ki jai. This is how merciful Narashinga Bhagwan is. Very, very touching stories. And this girl, she happened to this truck was coming very fast. This guy was drunk. There was this police car which tried to stop the truck but couldn't do it because this guy was drunk. His father couldn't see this scene. He jumped off from the first floor and broke his legs. But this girl, because of her faith to Narashinga Dev, she called out for help. And who knows what she did in her previous life, right? She called out earnestly to the Lord, and Narashinga Dev came for her protection. This is all real.
There's only one person who knows, Krishna.
Yeah. So we need to understand and develop this mood of faith, like we see in these devotees who have faith. So that's the lessons learned for us. Okay. So with this, we will conclude today's session, kids. Thank you all for your valuable time and association.
Mataji, could I tell something really quick? It's really quick but really amazing. So
Okay.
one time I had a dream, and in that dream, okay, there was a stand, and I was sitting on top of it, and then like Krishna, he took a form of that black snake, and then went into the water like that pastime, and then I was just sitting there. I knew very well. So Radharani came, and then she was like on her aeroplane, and then she was like, "Will you help me find Krishna?" And I was like, "Okay." And then I helped her find Krishna there, and then after that, I was in the slide, and then Krishna and Radharani appeared. It's another dream. So they appeared in this, and then Krishna said that maybe he must go to Yamalok for more time. And then she was like, "Be merciful to him. These are all living beings." And then I understood how merciful Radharani is. And the third dream is, one time Narashinga Dev came, and then I was playing, and then suddenly the ball turned into my heart, and even though I had my heart inside, the ball turned into my heart, and Narashinga Dev came and got the heart and pulled something out from it and said, and then opened that, and then I saw some 7 things. He said those are the 7 anarthas. So now the indication is that I'm still not yet pure. And I bet dreams.
I think you are so elevated, Shriyan, because you are getting dreams of, Radha, Krishna, Narashinga Dev. So that itself is a great sign. Okay. So because when we constantly think about him, then only we will get dream. And that also very, very rare people get dreams. So nice of you, dear. I'm so happy to teach to all of you. We're also so elevated. Okay. Thank you. With this.
I got all these dreams when I was like 2 or 3.
So sweet, dear. So let's adjourn for today. See, I need to run somewhere, so let's just call it off, and we will see you all next week. Okay, kids? Vansha kalpa tarubhyasya kripa patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Pura Bhakta Vrind ki jai. All glories to the ethical kids. Bye. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you for the class.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you, Mataji. Hari Bol closing the call.
Thank you, Vinaya Mataji.
Hari Bol.